a recap on what we did on Friday. Okay. Basically, we started off with the inbound process of goods receipt, and basically the entire receipt process. So we started off with what exactly is an availability group. What is the relevance of an availability group? What is a stock type? What is the relation of an availability group and a stock type? What is the relation of an availability group and your storage type? How does the existence of an availability group at a stock type level, at a storage type level, go ahead and determine what kind of stocks, what kind of stock types would you be able to store in your warehouse in that particular stock type, in that particular storage type. So that is basically what we had spoken about, and how does the availability group go ahead and affect the movement of stocks, or should I say the placement, the receipt of stocks in your warehouse. So today what we're going to be doing is, since we saw what exactly is a warehouse process type, then we understood what exactly if you're talking about in the goods receipt process, what exactly is the availability group and the stock type. Now the next thing that we will be determining, or probably that we'll be talking about, is the put-away rules or the put-away strategy in EWM. Okay. Basically, whenever I need to go ahead and let's take an example of a document management system, okay, or in any huge organization, whenever they need to go ahead and they need to go ahead and manage the documents that they're having, or let's say for that simple matter, when we go ahead and on our laptops, okay, when we're going ahead and managing some kind of files on our laptop, okay, we know that, okay, let's say if you're working with multiple clients, okay, and you've got multiple folders within your in your laptop, and you say that, okay, fine, if there's certain document of a certain client, then you go ahead and put in one folder itself. Likewise, let's say if you receive let's say if you go ahead and receive something like songs, okay, songs, so you probably might have one huge folder or one mega folder of songs, but inside that you might have, let's say, based on the language like English or Hindi, and inside English and Hindi you might probably have some kind of multiple folders based on the genre, like instrumental or classical or dance music or film music and all that. So that's how we go ahead and manage our documents, right? Right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. So likewise, let's say if you're receiving some kind of an MP3 file, which is probably a classical music. So now the thing is, you either have an option to go ahead and create a new folder within classical music of that particular singer or that particular instrumentalist. You go ahead of a person who's going here and making that based on his name or based on the genre or based on either it's pure or just go ahead and put it in one folder. So you have the option with that. Let's say if you receive another MP3 file of that same singer, if you receive that, okay, then in that case you either have an option to directly go and put it in the same folder or something like that, or put it in that subfolder which you have. So that's basically what we're trying to do is, knowingly or unknowingly, even in real life, what you're trying to do is we're going here and doing some kind of a put away, okay, and that we're doing it based on some kind of a rule, right? You say that, okay, fine, if this is a Hindi song or this is an English song, probably I'll go ahead and first go and check it in this huge folder. Then I go to the subfolder that is English. Inside English, I might probably have different other folders like R&B, country music, dance music, jazz, blues, something like that. And then inside that, I might probably go ahead and have multiple more. I might have different subfolders inside that based on the year that you're talking about. Let's say 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and then this. Or else you might just put in by the name of the singer or whatever, or the album. So knowingly or unknowingly, what we're doing is we're trying to do some kind of a put away with rules. So we're creating these rules. We're saying that anytime if I receive a file or something like that, I need to go. It has to go into this, and I will have a strategy, okay, a strategy or a determination rule that I will prepare, okay, by making so many folders, and this is a determination rule that I will always follow to go and do a put away. So if this is the case, in using a laptop, the same case or the same, this is the same analogy that we use in going here and doing a put away, okay, at a warehouse level itself. It also. So when you're talking about within a warehouse, let's say if you're talking about the warehouse of tire manufacturer. If it's a tire manufacturer, then in that case you would go ahead and they're all tires, right? But all these tires are of different sizes and all that. So based on the size, they might go ahead and do a put away at certain areas. So whenever there's another tire which is of the same size, it will probably go ahead and add to the same location, add the stock in the same location where where the tires of the same size are already placed. So it will go ahead and they'll be put away over there. So basically, when you're talking about in the system, you've got multiple put away rules or put away strategies based on which you go ahead and place stock within your warehouse. Alright, so let's just go ahead and check that in configuration. Okay, so this is a certain storage type that we're having. This is a high rack storage. Okay, now we here the parameters that go ahead and affect the placement or the put away of stock in your warehouse. Okay, the first parameter that will be there is your storage behavior. Okay. So basically a storage behavior, either it can be a standard warehouse, a bulk warehouse, or else it can have a pallet behavior. Okay. A standard warehouse would typically mean that you don't have a standard warehouse would typically mean that you are having all these high racks. You're managing all your stocks at the rack level. Okay. You've got multiple racks, and each and every inside your racks you've got multiple bins, and you're going here and placing the stock over there. Okay. Then there is something which is known as a bulk storage. So if you're talking about bulk storage, then in that case we're talking about something like wherein the HU, okay, the HU that you have. Let's say if you've got bulk storage of you're managing your a warehouse. Okay, you're managing a warehouse of let's say the Food Corporation of India. The Food Corporation of India has got its multiple warehouses wherein they store all their food grains and everything. So there, typically that warehouse is like a bulk warehouse. The reason being is whenever there is an order that you receive, stating that okay, I need so many metric tons of meat, they don't go ahead and say that okay, fine, this is the all these 100 kg bags, they don't go ahead and mark them as HUs. They just go pick those 100 pick the X number of X metric tons of the food grains, put it in the truck, and then it is gone. So that's a bulk storage behavior. So if that is the case, if that is the behavior of the warehouse, which over here, if that is the kind of warehouse, then in that case we are talking about you need HUs. However, the system would not go ahead and say that, okay, fine, this is the HU that you need to pick, because obviously it's a bulk storage, right? So there, though you have every gunny bag or everything has got certain type of an HU available over there, HU present. However, you will not be able to go. You would not say that, okay, fine, this is the HU that I need to pick. The system would not go ahead and make it mandatory for you to go ahead and whenever you're doing a placement or anything like that. The other kind of a behavior that we have is known as pallet storage. Okay, that is pallet storage. We will get into the details of pallet storage, because it's a pallet storage and bulk storage are two good, very good areas where we will have to understand it. It's a good two different strategies that the system would deploy whenever we're having a storage behavior, either as pallet storage or else as bulk storage. So that is one parameter, which is a storage behavior. The second parameter that goes ahead and influences your put away rules would be your basically your strategy would be your put away rules. So if you're talking about a put away rule, so basically we're talking about whether we need to have an existing addition to existing stock. Okay, whether we're talking about going ahead and do a put away with respect to a consolidation group, whether we need to go and do a general storage, general storage area, wherein you're not having any kind of rule, wherever the stock, wherever the your space is available for that in the warehouse, the system would go and do a put away over there. And then there's something which is known as an empty bin. So if you're talking about an empty bin, basically, so if you have your put away rule as an empty bin, then in that case the system would always go ahead and do put away or placement of stock in your warehouse in a storage bin which is empty. The meaning of empty is, let's say if your storage bin has got a capacity of 100 kgs. Now for some reason you go and do a put away of 50 kgs at that storage bin. Now according to the system, so you have had though the capacity of that storage bin is 100 kgs, and you will be able to go ahead and place another 50 kgs in that storage bin. But if you use the put away rule 5, that is empty bin, the system, according to the system, the bin has already been occupied. So whenever there is an addition, there is another put away that needs to be happened, the system will completely ignore this particular storage bin, because according to the system, this storage bin is already taken, and it is, though there is space available, but since the system has already taken a storage bin, there is already some kind of stock over there, which means it is not empty. Okay. Alright guys?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, Manoj.
Yeah. So that is basically the put away rules. Then basically then the next thing that we need to understand is what are the various put away strategies. If we're talking about the various put away strategies, we're talking about either you go ahead and say that I've got a warehouse, because there might be certain warehouses or there might be certain areas within the warehouse wherein you don't want the system to go ahead and determine where I need to place, because probably let's say you're talking about placement of stock in the scrapyard. Over here in the scrapyard, you don't want the system to go ahead and give you some kind of a location and all that. It's a scrapyard. You just want to go ahead and manually go ahead and place it over there. You don't want the system to determine it for you. You will just go ahead and manually enter which storage bin that you want to place it at. So that is something which is known as a manual entry. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that is something which is, that's a strategy which is known as a manual entry. So here basically what will happen is whenever you say that in your warehouse, let's say you've kept an area wherein you're talking about a scrapyard, wherein let's say if your pallets get broken or
Madam, your voice is bit low.
are you able to hear me now? Shafi, are you able to
Still,
hear me now?
yeah, we are able to hear, but it is a bit low.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, now it is better.
Okay. All right. Just a minute. Okay. Am I audible now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So basically, what I was saying is that let's say if you're in your warehouse, you've got a scrapyard, okay, and basically a scrapyard wherein you kind of place all these the pallets that you have that you use within your warehouse, or you want to do let's say if you it's your own warehouse, and there are certain bags that you want to send, there are certain cartons that you're talking about. So all this, though in your warehouse you maintain that scrapyard as a storage type, you don't want the system to go ahead and tell you that okay, where do I keep stock in the scrapyard. So what basically, if there's any scrap, the warehouse executive will go, okay, he will say that okay, fine, I can just place it in that area. He'll come back into the system and you just enter the storage bin. Okay, so basically what he's not asking the system to go ahead and place determine which area he needs to place the stock at. He himself is entering it manually. That is known as a manual entry. Okay, now whenever we're talking about a manual entry type of a setup, okay, whenever you want to do some kind of a manual entry, okay, you need to know that okay, this is a manual entry that I need to do. So for a manual entry, there are certain prerequisites that you usually have to have. Okay, basically the system over here, if you're talking about a manual entry, then in that case your put away rule that you're using, okay, the put away rule that you'll be using is either it's going to be next addition to existing stock. Okay, you're talking about addition to existing stock, you can or else it can be empty bin, or else you can also have general storage area. Okay, but it can't be consolidation group, because consolidation group is something wherein we'll speak more about exactly consolidation group is when you get there. So that's something which is known as a manual entry. Then there's something which is then the next put away strategy that we'll be talking about is known as a fixed storage bin. Okay, fixed storage bin. Let's take an example. You have certain kind of high value items. Let's say if you're talking about certain warehouses, they might probably go ahead and even store diamonds within their warehouse. Okay, so if that is the case, you know that these diamonds will always go to this bin only. They will not go to any other bin, and you don't want the system to go ahead and even attempt in identifying or in trying to determine some other bins for that product. Likewise, let's say we can take an example of some other products also. Like you always want to go ahead and place there are these fixed number of bins that you've determined for, like, let's say electronic items, and you always want the system to go ahead and place it over there. So if this is the case, or if this is the scenario, then in such cases you will use something which is known as a fixed storage bin. Okay. So basically, when you're talking about a fixed storage bin, okay, you know that the system would always would have to go ahead and place stock of that product, okay, at a certain a predetermined, or should I say preconceived, okay, preconceived storage bin, wherein you always want the system to go ahead and place it over there. Okay, so now basically if we need to have a fixed storage bin, okay, if you need to go ahead and use a strategy which is known as fixed storage bin, then in that case, the certain configurations that you'll be doing is, you'll be going and making this check, use fixed bins. Another thing that you'll be going ahead and doing over here is at the product level, okay, when you're talking about over here at the product level, then okay, you see this, these indicators?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically at the product level, you'll go ahead and say that, okay, for this product, you'll be going ahead and maintaining the data over here. You'll be putting in what exactly the storage type, the storage section indicator, the storage bin type, okay, and you'll also say what is the maximum number of bins that would be allowed in the storage type for using fixed bins, okay, and then you'll be going ahead and going ahead and putting this indicator out here. So if you're talking about this, let's say, you saw this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically what we'll be doing is at the storage type level, okay, you'll say that you'll have to use the fixed bin indicator, okay, and then at the product level, okay, and then at the product level you would go ahead and say how many storage, the maximum, first of all you go and place which storage type. Obviously this is the storage type that you're going to be probably using. Inside the storage type, which is the storage section indicator, okay, what is the storage bin type and the maximum number of bins for which you need to go ahead and assign for that storage type so that it can be used as a fixed bin. So if this is the case, then it will go ahead and say that, okay, fine, out of this storage type, in this storage type, in this, and within the storage type, in this storage bin type, okay, for this product, for a certain product, we'll be going ahead and blocking 10 storage bins, okay, 10 storage bins, so that whenever a stock of this product comes in, it should always go into this storage bin type, and that will be always fixed. Okay, so that is known as a fixed storage bin put away strategy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The next, basically the next strategy that we'll be talking about is something, the next rule that basically we'll be talking about is something which is known as general storage area. Okay, that's or general storage. Basically, when you're talking about general storage, over here, you basically like we said in the warehouse, you go ahead and place, it's an open warehouse. Okay, it's an open warehouse, and you're just going here and placing stock in that warehouse. Okay, what you do is you say that, okay, if I've got a huge warehouse, I will say that, let's say I've got 5 storage types within the warehouse, and within the warehouse, within that storage types, I've got 10 storage bins. 10 storage sections. Like for every storage type, I've got 2 sections. So if you're using a general storage, okay, so then in that case, you would just go ahead and prepare 1 storage bin per storage section. you'll say that, okay, I'll just create one storage bin, and I think that will be more than enough. So you'll go and keep on placing stock in that storage bin itself whenever you receive any more stock of that product. Okay?
So it will not be replicating the actual scenario.
Sorry?
It will not be replicating the actual scenario, right? If we have might be in real time, we may have more than one bin, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in that
No,
case,
see, the thing is, basically you will take a call. You'll take a call of using, what kind of a rule based on what kind of a warehouse it is. Because when you do a warehouse visit, okay, there might be certain cases wherein, let's say, you have a small warehouse. Let's say if you're talking about a huge facility. Let's say if you're talking about let's say we're talking about a facility of some kind of a manufacturing company.
okay.
Let's say we're talking about the facility of Saint Gobain. Okay, Saint Gobain is basically a glass manufacturer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you're talking about their warehouse, so or basically their entire unit. So if you're talking about their plant, they might have the manufacturing unit, and to assist or to aid the manufacturing unit, you might have two different warehouses, or let's say three. Let's have, just for the sake of simplicity, let's have two warehouses. One warehouse is wherein they have all the raw materials. Okay.
Yeah.
And the other warehouse is wherein they actually go and place all the stock, like their finished products, like all this glass and everything. Okay. So for their raw materials, they know that if I'm receiving probably they might, for make glass, they might, let's say, use 4 raw materials. So they know that there are just 4 raw materials, and I want to go and have 4 storage bins only. Because within the warehouse, if I see that okay, fine, I just have 4 products. Okay. And whenever I receive anything of this product, I'll always go and place it over here in this particular storage area. So if this is the case, then based on the the property, or based on the warehouse characteristics, you would go and take a call whether you need to do general storage. So in that case, you know that okay, fine, it's a general storage, you don't have to create so many bins. So might as well I just create one bin, because over there, even when I'm retrieving stock, there's not too much of should I say thought, or there's not too much of strategy that's being done for certain kind of even for a retrieval. So then might as well go and keep a simple put away. Okay. So that's the reason why they might use a general storage area put away strategy. General storage. Okay.
Yep.
Then the next strategy that we're talking about, which is a very interesting and a very important strategy, that is something known as an addition to existing stock. Okay. So basically, what an addition to existing stock means. Now, before understanding what addition to existing stock means, let us first understand let's first take an example. Okay. Let's say if we've got a warehouse, and within that warehouse, let's say if we're talking about a warehouse of basically talking about let's say some kind of a huge bulk warehouse of let's say an organization, basically a manufacturing company which goes ahead and manufacture some kind of plastic products. Okay. So basically, once they go out and manufacture it, they need to go and do a put away. Okay. So basically, when you're using an addition to existing stock, so what happens is, whenever there's a certain product that you have done a put away in a certain storage bin in your warehouse, okay, and the next time when you receive the same products, okay, when you receive the same product within the warehouse, the first thing that the system will do is go ahead and do a search of all the storage bins within your warehouse and trying to identify which bins have this same product. Okay, it will go and try to identify which bin has got the same product within the warehouse. That's the first thing that the system would do. After it identifies that, it will go and say that, okay, fine, which storage bins have got space for this for placing of the stock, and then it will go and do a placement of the stock within your warehouse. So what happens is, let's say if you've got 10 storage bins, and out of these 10 storage bins you've got probably 4 are already full, so you only have 6, and within the 6 storage bins you've got 2 storage bins which are empty, and the other 4 are partially full. Okay, so now let's say we receive a product A which you need to do a put away for. So when you maintain addition to existing stock, what the system would first do is go and scan these, should I say go and search for these 10 bins. Okay, because that's where these are the 10 bins wherein the stock of this product, or these are the 8 bins that within that storage type wherein the stock of this product already exists. Then the next thing is, when that is the case, it will go and check, okay, fine, out of these bins, how many bins are available, or wherein the capacity is available. So if that is the case, then it will go and check these 4 bins and see that, okay, fine, these 4 bins are already full, so then it will go and eliminate these 4 bins. Then the next thing it will do is it will go and find out the other 6 bins that are available in that storage type, and within that storage type it will see, within that those 6 bins, it will see that, okay, out of these 6 bins, these are the 4 bins wherein stock is already existing for this product. So now let's say you've got a capacity of per bin. Let's say in one bin you have got a capacity of let's say 100. Okay, you've got a capacity of 100, and in these 4 bins, let's try to do this. Yeah. Let's say if you got these are the 10 storage bins that we have. Okay. And all these 4 bins are full. Okay. This is the total capacity of each storage bin. Okay. So the current status. Okay. Let's say just using the rounded numbers. Okay. Now, over here we've got 10 storage bins of a certain storage type. Okay. Out of which these 4 bins are full This bin is empty. This bin is empty as well. Okay. And now, basically over here we've got a rule which is known as addition to existing stock, and we are receiving an inbound delivery of 300 inches. Okay. So what the system would first go ahead and do is it will go ahead and search for all these storage bins wherein the stock is all the stock of product A. Let's say we've got a product A. Okay, wherein the stock of product A is existing in these 10 storage bins. So we'll go and check first. We'll go and sort them, and we'll go and check whether there is a capacity available for placement of this 300 inches of this product A in these storage bins. Which are the bins where capacity is available? It will go and check. So it will say that okay, fine, these 4 are already full. Okay, if these 4 are already full, the system would not go ahead. It will eliminate this or basically delete it from that list. So the next thing that it will do is it will go and say, okay, fine, which are the other bins that are available. So there is storage bin 5, the storage bin 7, storage bin 8, and there's storage bin 9. So the next thing that it will do is it will go ahead and take 30 inches. Okay, it will say that okay, fine, I need to go ahead and put, let's say, let me put 30 out here, and once I put 30 of this product A, this bin becomes full. Then it will go and search. Okay, fine. Now the next, though this is empty, what it will go and do is it will not take this bin into consideration. Okay, because over here we are talking about an addition to existing stock. So if you're talking about addition to existing stock, okay, so the next bin that will search is this. Over here it will put in another 60. Okay, and then it will just become full. Then over here it will put another 80. Okay, this becomes full as well. Then it will come over here, it will say that okay, fine, let's put another 70. So then that becomes 240. This becomes full. Then what it will do is it will come to this storage bin and then place another 60. Okay, and then what will happen is this bin, from being empty, it becomes partially full. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys understood the case, how the system basically tries to determine the storage bin.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is basically for an addition to existing stock. Now, let's say this is the same scenario, but what we have received is we have received a product B. Okay, if you received a product B, and then let's say if you received 200, or let's say 250 for that matter. Let's take another different type of an example. If you received 250, okay, of this product B, and all these bins, okay, all these, let's say we've not yet done any placement over here. This placement that we're talking about is only for product A. Okay. Let's consider that this has not been there's not been any placement of stock over here. Okay. Only these bins, bin number 5, 7, 8 and 10, they all have product A within them. Now when 250 of this quantity B of product B comes into the warehouse, the system would go inside, would try to find out, okay, fine, which are the bins available. It will say that okay, in the storage type I've got 10 bins that are there. Out of these 10 bins, 4 bins are already full. There are other 6 bins wherein you've got either the bin is empty or there is capacity available in that. So then it will go and say that okay, fine, it will go and identify these 6 bins. Then it will find out that out of these 6 bins, in 4 bins you already have a product A which is existing in that. So then in that case, if you're using an addition to existing stock, what the system would do is it will go and skip these 4 bins, okay, because there's already a product A out here, and then what it will do is it will go and do a placement of 100 each is in bin number 6, another 100 each is over here in bin number 9, and it will ask, basically what will happen is it will say that okay, you can only do a partial put away, because for the other 50 bins you don't have a storage. For the other 50 eaches that you have within your storage bin, that you need to, that for that product you don't have any storage bins. So if such is the case, then probably in such cases what you'll have to do is you either have to do a rearrangement, like I said, you kind of do a warehouse optimization, right?
Yeah.
Wherein you go and identify which are the partial bins that are available, and then you try to go and either up the capacity of that bin, of all those partial bins, so that you generate free bins within your warehouse. So what will happen is you go and take this 30 from storage bin 10, place it over here, and you've got this empty bin, and then you place a 50 over here. Okay? Alright guys?
Yeah.
So that's basically when you're talking about a mixed addition to existing stock. Then the other strategy that we talk about is an empty bin. Okay, over here. Now basically this we're talking about now let's take the same example. Over here we're talking about, now the next put away strategy that we're talking about is an empty bin. Here the same case, we've got a product A. Okay, we've got the inbound delivery of, let's say, 200 inches this time. Okay, so what the system would first, now another thing is, let's delete this. And let's not put this as let's put this as 50 first. Then let's have another inbound delivery of 75. Another inbound delivery of 110. Yeah. So if we're having an empty, an empty storage bin, if this is the kind of if this is the strategy that we're going to be using, or put away rule. Okay. Now over here, this is also empty. Current state. Okay. All this is empty. Now you receive the first IBD, and you need to do a put away. Okay. Now, though the capacity of the storage bin, it will first go ahead and check, once again the first system will go and check which are the storage bins available. Then it will go ahead and if you're having a put away rule as empty storage bin, the system will directly go ahead and eliminate these 4 and these 2 storage bins. It will directly eliminate them, because though the capacity, though the capacity is 100 and the current status is 40, and free area that you have, the free capacity is 60 over here and it is 70 over here, since you're using an empty storage bin, put away rule, the system would go and override these 6 bins, the bin number 7 and bin number 10 as well. And what the system would go and do is, for the first IBD, it will go and do a placement over here, because this is an empty stock. So it goes ahead and fills this, and this what this bin becomes is, then this becomes, basically according to the system, this becomes full. Okay. Then we receive another consignment of 75. So if this is the case, then directly the system would eliminate bin number 1 to bin number 5, then bin number 7, and then bin number 10. So the available bins that are available are 6, 8 and 9. So for 75, what it will do is, it will go and say, okay, fine, I've got bin number 6, and then it will go and make this as full also. Okay. Then let's say the third consignment comes in, it's got 110. Over here in such case, the system would directly eliminate bin number 1 to 6, in fact bin number 7 also, and then bin number 10. Okay. So when, in this case, what the system will do is, it will go and say, okay, fine, I've got this bin and this bin, these are the 2 bins which are empty. The first thing that the system would do is, go ahead and keep putting stock in bin number 8. So it will go on with 1, it will go on with 100 over here, and then it will say, okay, the capacity of the storage bin has reached its maximum. So what I'll do is, for the other 10, it will go to storage bin 9. Okay, it will go to storage bin 9, and then, okay, sorry. This is the case. What the system will do is, it will go and place 100 over here and 10 over here, and it will say that, okay, now these 2 bins are also full. So now let's say if we've got another consignment of 100, or let's say another consignment of 90, though we've got capacity out here, you will not be able to place it. You will not be able to. We will not be able to place the stock unless and until we do go ahead and either generate more bins, okay, or else we go ahead and manually do some kind of a put away. Okay, so that is an empty storage bin strategy. Got it, guys?
Yeah.
Then the next put away strategy that we're going to be talking about is the next story that we're talking about is a near fixed picking bin. Okay. Basically, the concept of this strategy is basically what will happen is, whenever you've got a certain product, let's say within your warehouse, you've got multiple storage types. Okay, and within your storage type, what will happen is, you've got these multiple storage bins. Now over here, what will happen is, basically what you're trying to do over here is, you've got certain kind of fixed bins. You've already used fixed bin put away. You already have for a certain product, you've got certain fixed bins that are already allocated within your warehouse. But the thing is, that there might be a case, okay, there might be a certain case wherein, what if these bins get full? Okay, so in such cases, what you do is, you kind of make certain reserve storage bins very close to, or actually adjacent or next to these storage bins, wherein you already do a put away. You kind of keep certain reserve storage bins so that you can go and do a put away over there. So if this is the case, okay, if you're talking about such kind of a storage behavior, okay, if this is a storage behavior, then in that case, what you'll do is, you'll go ahead and you'll say that basically you'll say in the storage type definition. Okay, this is the storage type definition. So here you'll say, first of all, you're going to be having, your near fixed bin. That's something which is going to be your storage viewer would be standard. Okay. Then the next thing that you'll do is near to fixed bin. Okay. So this is the setting that you'll be going ahead and placing. So these are basically scenarios wherein, let's say you already have stock within your warehouse, and you need to go ahead and you're creating certain other basically reserve storage or reserve storage bins for the same product next to the bins you've already placed. Okay, wherein you already have placed the stock. So if this is the case, then in that case you will always use a basically a near to fixed bin kind of a rule. Okay, right guys?
Okay. So
hello?
for this we must use fixed bins.
Sorry?
For this option we must check the use fixed bin.
Yes.
Okay.
Now the next put-away strategy that we're going to be talking about is the next two that we'll be talking about. One is known as a bulk storage, and the other is known as the pallet storage strategy, put-away strategy. Okay. So first, let us talk about what exactly a bulk storage is. So basically, before talking about bulk storage, we need to first understand in which kind of a scenario would any person or would any consultant, okay, would any consultant go ahead and say that, why don't you go ahead and prepare, or why don't you go ahead and configure your storage type as bulk storage? Okay. One example, like I told you, was if you're using, let's say for warehouses wherein you're just doing manufacturing and you've got these huge bags or these huge pallets, you just need to go ahead and place them. Okay, you don't have a clear mandate, that whenever a user gives you certain kind of a requirement for a certain product, you don't want the system to go ahead and say that, okay, fine, go ahead and pick these pallets. You want, because it's just bulk storage, right? You would just go and just pick all these pallets or all these bags from your warehouse and just go ahead and just go about it. The system would not go ahead and mandate you to go ahead and place say that, okay, fine, these are the HUs that you're picking and all that. So this is the case. So if you're talking about a bulk storage, first the first thing that you'll be going ahead and configuring for your storage type would be basically your storage behavior that you'll be using is bulk storage. Okay, your requirement, okay, let's say you see this?
Yeah.
So basically the HU requirement over here should always be, there should always be active. Basically HU requirement means that within the storage type you will only be able to place or store HUs. Okay?
Okay.
So whenever, if you're talking about a bulk storage, that does not mean that bulk means that there are no HUs. Okay? Bulk storage means that over there we are going to be using HUs. So on that storage type, you'll always be placing HUs. Okay? The HU number would be existent in the system. Okay? Second thing that we're going to be doing is, when you're talking about a bulk storage, okay, we can have this put away rule. Okay, we can either have an empty bin or an existing stock. Okay, so let's get it back. Another thing, okay, when you're talking about a bulk storage strategy, is going to be mixed storage. mixed storage. Okay, so let's see this. Got this?
Yeah.
Basically what we have the system for bulk storage. Okay, basically over here, it does not mean, just because it's bulk, it does not mean that you'll be able to place everything, anything and everything in your storage type. Okay, so basically what you can do is either you can have several non-mixed HUs of the same product or batch, which means that if you've got a certain a certain product which you receive either in cartons, okay, and in pallets, and which means that you've got two different HU types. Okay, so if that is the case, and if you're using a mixed storage as one, then in that case, if you go ahead and place stock of this product at a storage bin, and it already has cartons inside it, you would not be able to place an HU of the same product with a different HU type. Okay, that is the relevance of mixed storage. Then the other option that we can use is several mixed HUs with different batches of the same product. Several HUs, which means you can also have two. Okay, which means that you can have several HUs. Okay, you go ahead and you can go ahead and put in but I have different batches. You can have different batches of the same product. You can go ahead and place it over there. That is the mixed storage. Then you have something which is known as a mixed storage within an HU. Okay, mixed storage within an HU means so if you're talking about a mixed storage within an HU, which means that when you're talking about a bulk storage type, bulk storage strategy, and with bulk storage strategy is our rule, and you need to go ahead and do a mixing within an HU. Mixing within an HU means one pallet has got multiple products, has got different products, and has got different batches. Okay, so if that is the case, then in that case you can you will not be able to use this. So in this case you only have to use that mixed storage is not allowed. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So that's basically when you're talking about bulk storage. Now this is only at the storage type level. This is only the beginning of the configuration that we do for a bulk storage. Okay. The other that we're going to be doing is now that we've gone ahead and seen a storage type as with storage behavior as bulk storage, the next thing that we have to go ahead and work on is you go ahead and actually go ahead and say, you go ahead and maintain, okay, that these are, you already have that these storage types are bulk storage types. Okay, so once you go ahead and assign it, there'll already be an entry over here, okay, for this. However, we also need to understand whether in this storage type you need to go ahead and manage partial quantity. Okay, you need to go ahead and manage partial quantity, or whether you need to do some kind of a put away block. Put away block, which means that the reason why we do put away block in certain warehouses is, since it's a bulk warehouse, right? So if it's a bulk warehouse, so then in that case, when you go and place stock within your warehouse, within that storage type, within that area, these are bulk storages. So what happens is, there might be cases when you need to go ahead and you need to go ahead and do a retrieval, or you need to go ahead and pick stock from that storage type. So if this is the case, you can't go ahead and simultaneously do a put away and at the same time do a picking, right? So that is the reason why we go and do a put away block. The next two nodes are very important when you want to use a bulk storage strategy. This is known as a bulk storage indicator. So basically what you'll do is you'll create an indicator, like this is just like a control indicator in the WPT, the warehouse process type which you had created, similar to that. So we go ahead and create this bulk storage indicator, okay, for a certain warehouse, and once we create that, we go ahead and maintain that bulk storage indicator for those products. Which means what we're trying to do is, we're going ahead and first of all we have got, let's say, multiple storage types within your warehouse. We're going ahead and let's say we are assigning, basically what we're doing is we are assigning a storage type which is a bulk storage, okay. And then the second thing that we want to do is we also want the system to, for the system to identify that there are certain products which will always go into bulk storage. Okay, so if this is the case, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and directly put bulk storage indicator at the product level, which means that the system, whenever this product comes into the warehouse and we need to do an inbound for this product, the system, apart from identifying a lot of other things, the first thing that it will identify is at the product level, it will see that, okay, does it have a bulk storage indicator? And if it does, then automatically the system would go ahead and directly search for the storage type within the warehouse which has got a storage behavior as bulk storage. Okay?
Okay.
Once we go ahead and create a bulk storage indicator, the next thing that we need to do is we define the bulk structure. Basically, it's bulk structure, which means that you go ahead and identify for this warehouse and this storage type, if this is the storage bin type, okay, and then in that case, if within this storage bin type I go ahead and place this HU, okay, then how many stacks can I go ahead and place, and within that stack how many heights, what is the stack height, so what is the maximum number of HUs that I can place within the storage bin having this storage bin type. Is it let me just explain that in a different way. Basically, okay, let's take these two examples first and then we'll talk about this example. Okay, basically what the system is doing over here is, what we are trying to do is over here is, we first go ahead and identify that this is a storage type, that the certain storage type will have to be used as bulk. Then what we would be going ahead and doing is, we'll be saying that okay, now it is bulk, but at the same time we need to know that within a storage type there has to be some kind of a capacity, right? Within a storage bin there has to be some kind of a capacity. Though there is space available, that does not mean that though we're using bulk storage, there has to be some kind of a capacity check that you need to keep, not at the storage bin level, but basically since you're using bulk, you don't want kind of a pyramid type of a stacking where it's huge and you'll not be able to do any retrieval. You need to have it in a certain protocol. You probably will have to use a certain protocol or a certain design. So then in that case, what we do is we go ahead and make this structure, when you say that if this is my storage, if this is in this warehouse, if this is my storage type, And let's say within this storage type I've got multiple storage bin types. Now storage bin types, like I said, you can have a storage bin type based on height. You might say that, okay, fine, there is this storage bin type which has got a height of 1 meters. Then let's say this is a storage bin type of having a height of 2 meters. Okay. Now if this is the case and I receive, different HU types. If I receive stock with different HU types, if I receive something which is an HU type E1, then in that case, if I receive a certain product which comes in a storage in HU type E1, let's say it comes in cartons or something like that. So if that is the case, then I'll be able to have 4 stacks with each stack height as 3, and I will be placing maximum number of 12 HUs in that storage bin. So as soon as the storage bin has got capacity of, let's say, even if it has the capacity of physically it has a capacity of 20 bins, 20 HUs, okay, but if I go ahead and do this kind of a structure, the system for the max it will only place 12 HUs over there. Okay, let's say if you've got a certain HU type, if you've got a different bin type and you've got a different HU type, if this is the case, then in that case the system would allow us to place only 6 HUs in every storage bin. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. The next scenario is, let's say, even if the bin type is the same, okay, bin type is the same, however, the bin type is the same and also the HU type that we're using, the HU type is also the same. However, okay, the product might be different. The product might be different. Let's say if you receive 2 products, okay, and for one product you've specifically maintained that this product will have to go to the bulk storage. It will have to go to the bulk storage. So if this is the case, so then in that case, in such a combination, the system would allow you to place maximum number of 15 HUs in that storage bin with such kind of a stacking with 5 and stack height as 3. Okay?
Okay.
Guys, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, did you understand this scenario of bulk storage?
No, it is still confusing.
Sorry?
It is still confusing.
Okay.
So maybe you
let me
can
explain
put
to
this
you.
on Excel sheet.
Sorry?
Maybe you can put this on Excel sheet or notepad.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, over here, let's consider that in a certain warehouse, okay, let's say we've got a certain warehouse, let's say it's warehouse 100 is the warehouse, and you've got this storage type which is bulk storage, okay. Now inside the storage type you've got two different storage bin types, B1, B001 and B002. These are the two different storage bin types which are available.
Okay.
Now this is the case, and for every storage bin type that you have, you know, within the inside this whatever storage bin that you have in this storage bin type, the maximum bin capacity, that is the per bin capacity, is that you will be able to place 30 HUs over here and 15 HUs over here in all the bins under this storage bin type.
Okay.
Next thing is, what are the compatible HU types? Compatible HU types is, which means that, you know, which are the HU types that you will be able to place within these two storage bin types. So over here you can place either E1, E2, or else you can place basically both. You can place E1 also and you can place E2 also. Now, if this is the scenario, okay, so then in that case, basically what you'll have to do is you'll have to create a structure. Okay, just a minute, guys. So basically what you do is you'll have to create a structure wherein you'll say that, okay, if I receive a certain product, let's say, let's take two products. Product A, product B. Okay, and for product B, I've got a bulk storage indicator, bulk indicator, bulk storage indicator. That says as B1. Okay.
Okay.
Basically, let's say that this is my product B, and I've maintained B1 over here. Okay, and over here for product A it is blank. All right. Now, let us. Okay. So what we are basically trying to do here is, let's say if I've got a certain inbound delivery of product A, okay, if I've got a certain inbound delivery of product A, so and you need to go ahead and basically you want to identify the system within your warehouse, you want to go ahead and place it in the bulk storage, okay, bulk storage type. So what basically you're trying to do is, let's say if you're receiving the same product A with a HU type that is E1, that let's say if you're receiving it in cartons, and let's say this is pallets. Okay, so let's say that you receive product A, okay, you receive let's say you receive 40 HUs of product A. Now in the system what you've done is, we've gone ahead and said that if I receive any product with which is placed in a carton, which I receive in cartons. So in that case, if I need to go ahead and place it, if the system is determining that yes, in the storage bin type B001 there is space available, okay, there is space available. So if such is the case, then I will go ahead and make 5 stacks. Let's say 5 stacks. 5 stacks means I'll be able to place 5 HUs adjacent to each other, okay, and on every stack I will be a maximum number of heights. Let's say it will be 4, which means that I'll be first putting in 5 cartons, adjacent to each other, and on top of every carton I'll be placing 3 more cartons, okay. So which means that the total stack height is 4, okay. So if such is the case, then the maximum number of HUs that I'll be able to place in a certain storage bin will be 20. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. However, let's say that I've got a product B which I receive, okay, and I receive it in the same carton. Alright? However, there might be a case that probably this product B that I'm receiving is a little heavy, is heavier than product A. Okay? So, if this is the case, I know that my carton will be able to only withstand a certain type of a pressure weight. It will only be able to withstand, or it will only be able to bear a certain kind of weight only. So if this is the case, then I might say that, oh, product B is a little heavy. So if this is the case, then I will go ahead and decrease the number of stacking. I will say that I will be placing in that same bin, I will place 5 stacks. However, for every stack, I will only be having the stack height as 2, which means that I will be placing 5 cartons adjacent to each other, but on every carton I will only be placing 1 additional carton on top of it. Okay? Guys, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the case. However, let's say if I receive the same product, if I receive a product A in pallets, if I receive it in pallets, obviously now these huge pallets that I'm using, I mean a carton is much smaller, a pallet is much huge. So based on the capacity and based on the discussion that you'll have with your warehouse supervisor, okay, he will say that if I receive a pallet, okay, if I receive pallets, then the maximum number of stacks that I can create of the pallet is 3, okay, and the stack height that I can have is, let's say, 3. So in this case, which means he says that if I receive pallets, I will be able to make 5 stacks, as in I will be able to place 5 cartons adjacent to each other. However, if I receive pallets, I will only be able to place 3 cartons adjacent to each other, because the pallets are huge. Also, in other cases, I will only be able to place 2 pallets above every pallet, above each pallet. The reason being is my forklift, okay, is probably the forklift that I'm using is, it does not have that much of height. So in such cases, the maximum number of HUs that I'll be placing per bin in that same storage bin, that same storage bin, suddenly, wherein initially if I had a carton, I was able to place 20, HUs, but as soon as I receive a pallet, I'll be able to receive only 9 HUs in that storage bin. Okay. Likewise, let's say if I've got, storage bin type B002, over here, my maximum bin capacity is 15. However, okay, let's say if I receive something which is an E1, okay, and this storage bin type that I am having, it already has a very low capacity. Okay, so if I receive something in cartons, okay, there might be a case that I can go ahead and 5 cartons, 3 stack heights, the maximum HU that I can place is 15. Likewise, let's say if I've got pallets, okay, if pallets are the case, then in that case I can have, let's say, 4 pallets and 3 stack height. So the maximum number of HUs that I can place in the bin is 12, sorry. However, if I'm having, like let's say a product B which comes in pallets. Now, like we said, the product B is a little heavier than product A, and for handling purposes, you want to go ahead and keep it very lean. So in that case, we'll say that, okay, yes, I'll be able to place 4 pallets adjacent to each other. However, I'll only have a stack height of 2. So in that case, if I receive a certain product, if I receive a product B in HU type pallet, okay, then in that case, and if the system proposes, if it searches and it finds that there are a lot of bins available in storage bin type B002, then what the system will do is it will go ahead and only place 8 HUs in that storage bin if it has got a bulk storage indicator as B1 and the HU that the product is being received is in pallets. Okay? Guys, is the concept clear?
Yeah. क्या है तेरी सब
B, alright, in cartons only, okay, in cartons only, then the maximum number of HUs that I'll be placing is 10.
Okay.
Okay. Likewise, let's say if I've got B002 and let's say let's prepare let's say I've got 4 storage bins, okay.
Yeah.
Now out here the maximum capacity per bin is 15.
Yeah.
Okay. However, if I receive something, let's say in E1, if I receive something in in cartons, okay, if I receive it in cartons, then in that case the maximum that I can place is 15 HUs over here directly. Okay. If this is in E1. However, if I receive something in E2, okay, then in that case I will only be able to place 12 HUs if the bulk storage indicator is blank for that product. Okay. Yeah. So basically the max bin per bin max capacity does not mean that I'm doing a summation of all this.
Okay. It is clear now.
Yeah. Got it, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is basically about bulk storage. Okay.
Yeah. So in a product, if we configure this bulk storage indicator or storage type, so when we do SIF for the same product update, so those changes will not be override by ERP updates,
By what?
by ERP data.
Uh-huh. Now you're saying that the field, which is the bulk storage indicator field.
Yeah.
No. See, the bulk storage indicator field is at the warehouse data level.
Okay.
Okay, and this data is warehouse independent. This is in this tab that you have. This data never gets shift from ECC to EWM. You have to maintain it manually, locally over here.
Okay. Fine.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That is basically about bulk storage. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the next basically the next storage type strategy that you're going to be talking about is known as pallet storage. Okay. Okay. Basically, alright. Basically, the concept of pallet storage is just a minute, let me just write this also. Okay. Basically, we'll be using a pallet storage type. Okay, pallet storage behavior in warehouses wherein you've got multiple racks. Okay, you've got multiple racks, and you're going ahead and and managing everything in HUs. Okay, and second thing is going ahead and managing everything in HUs. Second thing is every storage bin that you have, you're going to be only placing one HU per bin. Okay, you're going to be having one HU per bin. Second thing is one HU per bin, which means that as soon as I go and place one HU in a certain bin, the bin becomes full. I will not be able to add any more stock to that bin. Okay, any more stock to that HU. Alright. So that is a bulk storage, pallet storage. So whenever we need to do a pallet kind of a storage for a storage type, the first thing that you'll be doing is you'll be creating your storage behavior will be 1. Okay. The next thing is you'll need to have HUs, as in that storage type will have to have HUs which you will do a put away for. Okay, so the HU requirement will have to be mandatorily there. The put away rule that you'll have is empty bin. Okay, now let's say if I remove this, got it?
Yeah.
So basically over here, addition, see it says for put-away strategy 2, addition to stock must be allowed. However, since this is a pallet storage behavior, okay, we've got by default the addition to stock forbidden. Okay, so basically, let's say if I keep this 5 and if I remove this, then I can have this. I can have this out here. I can say that addition to stock is forbidden. Okay?
Okay.
But if I'm having a pallet storage, okay, basically by default I will be going here and managing in my warehouse if I'm using pallet storage, which means that I'm going to have, you know, multiple HU types, and I've got multiple racks, and in those racks I've got multiple storage bins. But for every storage bin I'll only be placing one HU over there. I want to only go and place one HU. I want to manage everything in HUs. So if that is the case, then I will go ahead and say that my storage here would be 1, that is pallet storage. My put away rule will be empty bin. I don't want addition to stock. Basically addition to stock will be forbidden. And the third, and or should I say the fourth parameter, is mixed storage. Out here, mixed storage, the indicator that I'm going to be using is 1 HU allowed per bin. Okay?
Okay.
And second thing is mixed storage in the HU without limitations, which means that if I've got a certain HU, okay, if I've got a certain handling unit, I've got a pallet or a carton, inside that pallet or that carton I can have multiple different type of products, multiple different type of batches. Okay?
Yeah.
So if I'm using bulk store, if I'm using pallet storage, the system does not look inside the HU. Only thing that it wants is we are going to be doing, you know, we're going to be going here and making 1 HU per bin. And inside the HUs you can do whatever you want. You can place in anything that you want inside the HUs. Okay?
Okay.
So that is basically the storage type level configuration for pallet storage. The second thing that we're going to be doing is, once we go ahead and maintain that, okay, fine, I am going to be using, you know, pallet storage over here. Okay? The next very important thing is we get back over here. I can perform bin sectioning. Okay. Basically, what we're trying to achieve over here is, let's say I have got a certain storage bin. Okay, I've got a certain storage bin, and in that storage bin, like over here, I've got a certain storage type, bin type. Okay. So basically, what I'm trying to do is, I've got a certain storage bin type. I know that all the storage bins that I have within this storage bin type, the maximum number of HUs that I can place inside each bin is 5. Okay. However, when you're using a pallet storage, you need to identify the bin, right? It does not mean that, you know, if I've placed 5 HUs inside one bin, I need to exactly know that which bin is at which position. Okay, is at which position. So if this is the case, then what I do is we create storage bins into multiple sections. Multiple sections means, now let us take this example over here. Over here it says, for warehouse number 1, in this storage type, which is the pallet storage, I've got a section 1. The maximum number of HUs that I place is 5 for this bin type, and I've got 5 positions, which means if I've got a warehouse this, if I've got HRPL as a pallet storage as my storage type, I've got 2 bins, P001, 002, okay, both these bin types can have E1 and E2. Okay. So now basically what you're trying to do is, let's say if you've got, this is a scenario, okay? So then in that case, and let's say I've got for bin type P001, I've got a I've got 5 storage bins in P001. Alright? So what happens is, now let's say if I'm receiving I'm receiving a product. Product A. I'm receiving 10 HUs, okay, of E1, of type E1. Alright? So what will happen is, if this is the case, this is a scenario, and this is the basically the configuration that we have done. So what the system will do is, as soon as the system identifies that bin 001 is empty, the system would go ahead and try to place HUs within this bin. Okay. So what it will do is it will place 5 HUs over here and 5 HUs over here. However, when you go inside the system, since we have created a bin sectioning, we said that position, we've created multiple positions. Position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4 and position 5. Okay, just like this, we say 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, which means that the system would create 5 sections of this particular storage bin. So how the system would look, would look is, it will look like this. Guys?
Yeah.
So, Shashi, you there? Yeah. So basically what happened is, whenever I'm using a pallet strategy, what the system would do is, I have created this kind of a bin sectioning, right? Okay. This is the bin sectioning that I have performed. I have said that if I've got, bin P001, okay, if I've got bin P001, then the maximum number of HUs that I can place is 5, which means that I will have 5 sections within that storage bin. Okay?
Yeah.
And the next thing that I will do is, I will perform a bin sectioning for the HU type and the bin type. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So what will happen is, let's say if I've got per bin, basically I'll say that, okay, this is my compatibility. I'll say that this is my bin type and this is my HU type. Okay? So then in that case, this is going to be my section of the storage bin. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically what I'll do is, whenever I'm having such kind of a just like in bulk storage, when we said that if this is my storage bin type, okay, though my capacity is huge, I will be able to keep only 5 stacks, and this is, so basically what you're doing is you're creating a bulk structure, right? Likewise, even for pallet storage, you would go and this is a structure that you'll create. You'll say that, though my max capacity for this bin type with this HU type is 5, so I will create 5 positions. I will create 5 positions for this product. So whenever I have got 5 pallets, I will have 5 positions created virtually. These are 5 storage bins, basically 5 sections that will be created virtually at your storage bin. Okay, and basically the beauty of this strategy is, though I have got these 5 storage bins out here, right? I've got as in 5 sections. Let's say for some reason I've got okay, let's take this example. I've got 5. So basically, let's say I've got HU01, HU numbers. Okay, these are HU numbers. So basically, on these pallets that I have, on these pallets or these cartons that I've received, these are my HU numbers. Okay, so when I have received these 5 HUs, this is the way it'll look in my system. But let's say for some reason I have done a picking of these 2 HUs, and I've done a dispatch. So what will happen is, the system will automatically remove these 2 bin sections. So then in that case, in this storage bin, I will only have these 3 storage bin sections only. Okay?
Sorry, please come again.
Sorry?
Can you please repeat that?
Okay. Basically what happens is, the beauty of the storage bin sectioning is, what happens is, over here I've maintained that for this storage bin type, whatever storage bins that I have inside the storage bin type P001, okay, the max capacity that I have is 5, which means that I will be able to create 5 sections inside every storage bin of this bin type. So over here, as soon as I do a put away, the system will open up 5 storage sections.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will be placing these 5 HUs over here.
Yeah.
Now what happens is, after let's say I have placed it. Now for some reason, I need to do a retrieval, as in I need to do a stock removal. So if this is the case, then if I remove these 2 HUs from the system will automatically remove these 2, the bin sectionings.
Okay.
Okay, and when the next time, let's say if I place, if I want to do some kind of a placement within that same storage bin, at that time the system would go ahead and create these 2 bin sections.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, what happens is, the beauty of pallet storage is that it will go ahead and say, the system would mandate you to go ahead and pick a certain storage type. A certain storage, a certain HU type. Okay.
Okay.
Also, over here, since I said that when you're using pallet storage, you will not be able to do mixing of HUs, which means that, let's say if in a certain storage, let's say over here, if this is your storage bin, and over here you've placed, let's say E1, let's say these 3 are E1. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you receive E2 for some reason.
Yeah.
You will not be able to place E2 over here.
Okay.
Okay. Though the capacity is available, you will not be able to place E2 over here, because you've already maintained that for, over here there's no kind of a mixing that will happen of HUs.
Yeah.
So over here, the system will only open up these 2 sections if you're getting an E1 over here.
Yeah.
Likewise, if I place E2, the system will only open up 4 sections for me then. And this section will not be there.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Alright guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. So any questions?
So we have defined maximum capacity. So that is
Yeah.
maximum number of sections we can make, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So for each section we can place one HU.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Suhail?
Yeah, Manoj, I'm okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So basically, we kind of hold it out here today. So basically, just to have a recap, what we've done today is we've spoken about the put away strategies that we're going to be using in EWM. We've got basically the put away rules. Now the put away strategy or the rules, it basically depends upon certain parameters, that is your storage type behavior and your put away rules. Based on that, you have got these multiple different strategies. So if you've got a standard warehouse, then you've got the various put away rules that you'll be using is manual entry, fixed bin, addition to existing stock, empty bin, near to fixed picking bin. If you're having a storage behavior as bulk storage, then we're talking about creating bulk structures. If you're having pallet storage, then we're talking about creating bin sectioning, and based on that we go ahead and do a put away. All right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Manoj,
Yeah.
I have a question. You have this empty bin,
Sure. Go ahead, sir.
next empty bin strategy, right?
Next empty bin.
Yeah. So if we use that strategy, every time it searches for an empty bin.
Yes.
Okay. So only with addition to stock, it will add to the same bin if need be.
Exactly.
Okay.
Addition to existing, see, the thing is, the concept of addition to existing stock is that, addition to existing stock means, it does not mean that it will not search for empty bins. Okay?
Yeah.
Addition to existing stock means that if I've got a quant in a certain storage bin and it has got the same characteristics as the other stock that I'm going to place in the warehouse,
Yeah.
the system will do an addition to existing stock.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say if I've got a product A in my storage bin and I am receiving another product A within my storage bin in my warehouse. So if I'm having an addition to existing stock, the system would go ahead and propose that same storage bin wherein that product A is already present. Okay. If there is capacity.
Okay.
Alright. However, if I'm using an empty bin, next empty bin rule, then in that case, even if it is the same product A and if there is capacity in that storage bin, the system will not take me to that same storage bin, it will take me to a next bin, which is empty.
Okay.
Okay? Alright. So, alright guys, so then we'll catch up tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, Manoj.
Alright guys.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay guys, take care and have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
Have
Thanks.
a nice day.
Yeah.
Bye.